皆さん、また来てくださってありがとうございます。こちらはマンハッタンニューヨーク、水曜日の夜です。ということでね、今日の動画は2つ上げたいと思います。一つはトランプさんのジョージアのケースでジャッジがダメっていうことで却下した良いニュース。もう一つは、ジョー・バイデンが機密文書保持、違法に保持して、しかもこの人は上院議員時代に保持してましたから、完全にこれ盗んだんですね。国家機密を盗んで勝手に自分のところとかチャイナタウンとかバイデンセンターとかあらゆるところに乱雑に放置して、しかも一般人のゴーストライターとその情報をシェアしたわけなんです。これ国家機密を一般人とシェアしたわけなんですね。これ完全アウトなんですよ。この件に関しての聞き取り、それを調べた人の報告書が上がってきて、バイデンさんがもう地方が進んじゃって、法廷には出れる状態ではないっていうことを出したので、それに関してのハーさんっていう方の、調べた方の聞き取りが国会で火曜日にありましたので、それと一緒に見てください。どうぞ。
The evidence and the president himself put his memory squarely at issue. We interviewed the president and asked him about his recorded statement. Quote, I just found all the classified stuff downstairs, end quote. He told us that he didn't remember saying that to his ghostwriter. He also said he didn't remember finding any classified material in his home after his vice presidency. And he didn't remember anything about how classified documents about Afghanistan made their way into his garage. My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair. My team and I conducted a thorough, independent investigation. We identified evidence that the president willfully retained classified materials after the end of his vice presidency when he was a private citizen. This evidence included an audio recorded conversation during which Mr. Biden told his ghostwriter that he had, quote, just found all the classified stuff downstairs, end quote. When Mr. Biden said this, he was a private citizen speaking to his ghostwriter in his private rental home in Virginia. We also identified other recorded conversations during which Mr. Biden read classified information aloud to his ghostwriter.
February 8th, the White House question, Mr. President, why did you share classified information with your ghostwriter? The President, I did not share classified information. I did not share it. I guarantee I did not. That's not true, is it, Mr. Hur?
That is inconsistent with the findings based on the evidence in my report.
Yeah, so it's a lie. It's just what regular people would say, right? Yeah, all right. So the next one. And all the stuff that was in my home was in filing cabinets that were either locked or able to be locked. That wasn't true either, was it?
That was inconsistent with the findings of our investigation.
Another lie, people might say, right?
Classified documents were found at the Penn Biden Center?
That's correct.
They were found in President Biden's garage?
In Wilmington, Delaware, yes.
And in his basement den?
Also in the same home, yes.
In his main floor office?
Correct.
And his third floor den?
Correct.
At the University of Delaware?
Correct.
And at the Biden Institute?
Correct.
Is it accurate to quote your report that classified documents were found in, quote, badly damaged boxes in his garage near a collapsed dog crate, a dog bed, a Zappos box, and an empty bucket? Is that correct?
Those words do appear in the report.
So that's correct. The answer is yes. Are these secure locations to store classified documents?
They are not. Something that you said in your prior question. What you were suggesting is that I needed to provide a different version of my report that would be fit for public release. That is nowhere in the rules. I was to prepare a confidential report that was comprehensive and thorough of an
What is in the rules?
I did not share it. With your ghostwriter? With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
We also identified other recorded conversations during which Mr. Biden read classified information aloud to his ghostwriter.
But here in this case, we have very clear indication that the President of the United States is not mentally able to participate in trial, which should beg the question why he is the commander-in-chief and has the access to the nuclear codes and is leading the United States of America.
I do want to stand up for her. The attacks on him by Hank Johnson and Adam Schiff were particularly egregious. This guy's obviously a public servant. He's not there for partisan political reasons. To portray him as otherwise was beyond the pale. My takeaways, him saying, I did not exonerate Biden, that's obviously That was the main pushback of Democrats after the report came out. When Biden was exonerated, he put that to bed today. The transcripts that came out today do show Biden did have a lot of memory lapses. Hur told the truth about that. He also confirmed that the White House tried to get the Department of Justice to change his report after he wrote it and after it came out. And finally, and one crucial thing, Joe Biden lied in his press conference when this came out. He said, "I'll guarantee you, I didn't disclose any classified information of my ghostwriter." Hur made clear today they have a tape of all this. He told his ghostwriter about the material. He told him where the classified information was stored. It's fairly obvious that the evidence shows Biden misled the American people about this.
Surprise!
Here to weigh in, though, on the breaking news of the day, Newsmax senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, welcome back to National Report. Talk to us about what these 6 counts are, why it's significant today.
Emma and Sean, always a pleasure to be with you. So the Sixth Amendment to the Constitution requires that the defendant be familiar with and understand the charges against him. The government can't just allege vague or nebulous charges. It has to allege them with specificity. And Judge McAfee just ruled, quite a surprise sort of to all of us that follow this, guys, but he just ruled that for 3 of the counts against the former president, there was not enough specific information in the indictment to allow President Trump to prepare a defense against him because he didn't know exactly what they accused him of. This has to do with the now famous or infamous, depending upon which side of this you're on, phone call to Secretary of State Raffensperger, where the then president said, "I just need you to find some votes." Was that an innocent, please recount the votes to make sure there isn't a mistake, or was that an act of corruption? Well, the government says that was an act of corruption, but they failed to say what aspect of the phone call was corrupt. So the government can do a couple of things. It can just forget about this because there are still 38 counts remaining against the former president. It could appeal it. It probably won't do that because that will take months and months. Or it could go to a new grand jury and recharge with the specificity that the judge says was lacking. Trump's lawyers were expecting that these counts would be thrown out entirely. But instead of throwing them out entirely, the judge threw them out without prejudice, meaning the government can go back to another grand jury, present what evidence it wants, rewrite those portions of the indictment with the specificity that the judge says Georgia law and federal law require.